Hello.
Hello.
If you're thinking you've seen that before, you're absolutely right. It's when we all went to Austria for the weekend to ski, and John and Pete tried their hand at skiing for the very first time.
Well, John and I had another go at skiing last week. This time in England, the temperature was in the 70s, and there wasn't a snowflake in sight.
And that is absolutely true, and you can see just how they managed it later on in the programme. But if you're wondering why Patch is sitting here all on his own without John, it's because John is on the other side of the studio at the moment with a cat on his lap, and it's a very strange one.
It's a polecat, and he's very strange because he is an electrician's mate. In fact, I think he's on strike at the moment. His name is called Morecambe because he's got these little round rings round his eyes like the glasses on Eric Morecambe. He's 4 years old and belongs to David Platt from Nuneaton. Now, you might think it's rather strange for David to have a polecat as an electrician's mate, but it's not as daft as you might think, because polecats are members of the ferret family, and you can train ferrets to go down rabbit holes and flush rabbits out. And David thought that he could do the same with Morecambe. Now, if he could train Morecambe to do exactly the same, it would help him in his work. Not as a rabbit catcher, but as an electrician. Now, if we take, for example, this furniture here is set in a highly desirable residence, and I'm an electrician, and I've got to lay some cable underneath the floorboards. Now, this is quite a complicated business, because it means I've got to shift out all the furniture, pull up the carpets, pull up the underfelt, prise up the floorboards all the way along, in order to lay some electrical lead down on the joists underneath the floorboards. But with Morecambe, you do it in half the time, half the work is involved, and there's not much mess. Pete, if you could give us a hand now,
Yep.
we'll show you just how Morecambe achieves this. Poor little fellow, he's gone to sleep.
Come on, Morecambe, wake up. I've
Come
got
on,
a piece
Morecambe.
of string
Start
here.
working, boy.
I'm going to fasten it to Morecambe's collar. His fur's in the way. That's it. And just one small knot to make sure that it won't come.
He's curled up.
Come on, wake up.
He's
You've got
on
to work.
strike.
You've
He's
got to
on
work.
strike.
There
Come
we
on,
are.
boy.
And now
Come on.
all you've got to do is feed him through.
Right. Well, with Morecambe, all I've got to do, you see, is just pull up one corner of the carpet, prise up one floorboard. In fact, in our floor here in the Blue Peter studio, we just cut a hole, and we lower in Morecambe with the string attached. Now, Morecambe has been trained to go to a light or a bit of noise underneath the floor. David's trained him to do this. So let's see if we do it. Pete, you down the other end now?
Yep.
Okay, make a light, make a light and make a noise. And there he goes. He's woken up.
Morecambe.
Hey, go the other way.
This way.
Go on.
Come on. Come on.
Go on.
Come on.
He's on strike. I tell you, he is.
Come on. Come on. Come on. He is on strike. You're quite right. Come on. Morecambe.
Which union does he belong to?
Come on.
Hey, is he there?
Come on.
Go on.
Come on.
Have you got him?
Yes, I've
Oh,
got it.
come. I was saying it was half the work. Well, now the other end here, this piece of string has been attached to an electrical cable. So, in fact, all Pete's got to do is then just pull the string and the cable comes...
Do that. I'm just going to give Morecambe some milk for doing the job so very well.
Oh, yeah, that's very
Here
kind.
you go. Have your milk. That's it. And here comes the cable.
There we are. Hang on.
That's it. Keep it rolling.
I don't think we can get the job as electrician, do we? Have you got it?
Yep.
We finally made it. Well, I did say it would take half the time and half the mess, but with us two as electricians, I'm not quite...
Twice the mess. But I think he's a fantastic mate for an electrician.
Yeah.
Great.
Has he joined the union?
I shouldn't think so.
Oh, good. Well, if you were watching Blue Peter on Thursday, you'll remember that Pete and I were up in the Lake District taking part in some hound trailing. We also had time to take a look at some other unusual things, and Pete discovered a new sport.
Here in the Lake District, there are lots of slopes that would be absolutely marvellous for skiing. On this fell behind me here, there must be quite a few. The only trouble is that up here, there's never enough snow. And right at this immediate minute, there's no snow at all. Even so, Johnny and I are going to have a go at skiing on grass. All right, Pete.
The idea behind the grass ski is so simple, I'm surprised no one's thought of it before. It's 2 feet long and clips straight onto the boot. And the secret of the design is an endless nylon belt which runs freely over the ground like a caterpillar track. To learn how to use the skis, we took expert advice from 2 Austrian ski champions, Bernie and Brigitte.
Hello.
Morning, girls.
Hello.
Well, we've got our grass skis, but we haven't actually tried them out yet. Can you give us any tips, Brigitte? Is it similar to snow skiing?
Oh, yes, I think so. The movements are the same and the skis are shorter.
So you've got more control with them?
Yeah, yes.
And what is it, all the movements, knees and hips?
Yes, so you must bend forward. You must bend your knees and you must go forward, not back, because your skis are so short. When you go back, they will go out.
That will probably happen whatever I do.
But it isn't very difficult.
OK, fine. Well, I'll try them on.
Okay, John, have a try.
OK, Bridget, here I come.
Oh, no.
I wanted to learn to slalom, but grass skis won't slide sideways like snow skis. So Bernie explained that I'd have to turn them by swinging my knees from side to side.
If you'd like to go to the bottom and watch how I do, OK?
Yeah.
What on earth are you doing?
We're going to have a backwards race. All right, Bridget?
Oh, yes.
1, 2, 3, go!
Can't you do anything the simple way? OK, Bernie, here I come.
At first, it was easy enough to swing between the posts, but as I went faster, it became more and more difficult to turn. In fact, it was rather like being on roller skates.
It's the stopping that's difficult. I only missed one out there, but I think you'll agree it was a bit untidy, wasn't it?
No, it was very good.
Really?
Yes.
Slasher will get you everywhere. Look, I know there's a lift that takes
Yeah.
people up to the top of the fell there. It isn't working. If we rig it up, will you go up to the top and give us a demonstration?
Oh, yes.
To use the drag lift, you must clip yourself onto an endless moving cable. It's driven by a small petrol engine, which is strong enough to pull up a dozen people at a time. John had taken the engine to the top, whilst I'd made sure that the pulley was firmly anchored at the bottom.
It's all right for some. They come up these way, don't they? You got it, Pete.
Only just. Come on, let's start from the top.
Once off the lift, we had to walk the last few yards to the top of the ski run, and that wasn't too easy. The grass skis won't lock, so unless you climb sideways across the slope, you find yourself tending to slide back.
This is a slope? Yep. All right, off you go.
Bernie and Brigitte made it look deceptively easy as they skied down the slope. The angle was very steep in parts and the surface not all that smooth. But even at over 30 miles an hour, the grass skis seemed to cope perfectly well. And I had a feeling that John would never be able to resist a challenge like this.
Oh.
Do you reckon we can get down there?
No.
Well, let's try. Go on. We can. Voila.
I wonder what on earth they'll invent next. It's getting near summer holiday time, and if you're thinking of having yours possibly in a caravan pulled behind a car, then I expect you'll be looking forward to it. It's over 500 years now since caravans were first seen in Europe, but of course in those days they were drawn by horses, and people were startled to see the strangers who arrived in them. Swarthy people. The leaders were dressed in gaudy clothes with rich silver belts and had their own hunting dogs. Their followers were a ragged, tattered crew who spoke their own strange language that no one could understand. And wherever they went, people were fascinated and sometimes frightened by the dark strangers. They travelled to every country in Europe. No one knew where they came from. It may have been from faraway India, and they were given all sorts of names as they spread through Europe. They were called the Bohemians, the Tartars, the Heathens, the Egyptians, and in Britain, one of their leaders was called the Lord and Earl of Little Egypt, and his followers became known as the Gypsies. One thing was certain, every man's hand was against them. They were chased and stoned out of villages, imprisoned and killed, just because they were different. But the Gypsies didn't give up. They said, "We sing loaded with chains in the deepest dungeons," and they survived. Today, there are 700,000 of them in Europe, and there are gypsies in America and Australia and throughout the rest of the world as well. They never stay long in one place. They settle for a while in their caravans, but soon, without a word, they're on their way in their moving homes. They cultivate no crops and keep no animals for food. The men catch wild birds, rabbits and hares, and these are cooked in a great stew pot over the fire with tasty wild plants like nettles and dandelions. Sometimes the men weave baskets out of branches, and these are sold from door to door. Often the women, never the men, tell fortunes. Cross my palm with silver, they say, and then they look at someone's hand and claim to tell what will happen to them in the future. But today, the future of the gypsies themselves is doubtful. There's no room for gypsy encampments in modern, tidy towns, and how can the peaceful caravans move along the busy motorways? The children can still smile and enjoy their carefree life, but their parents are anxious and wonder if once more the gypsies will be forced out of their traditional way of life, with their wandering and their caravans, and the horses they've taken with them everywhere for 500 years. Even today, the gypsies still love their horses, like the ones that you can see here. And although more and more diesel lorries and modern trailers are replacing the old caravans, horse trading is still an important part of gypsy life. In June every year, there's a large horse fair at Appleby in Westmoreland. This is one of the traditional yearly meeting places for gypsies from all over the country, who spend the week in the village in their caravans and trailers. About 2,000 horses change hands during the course of the week. The buyers are local farmers, costers who come up from London to find the right horses for their street carts, and the gypsies themselves. The horses are paraded up and down the small village street so that all the buyers can see what they're getting for their money. The gypsy knowledge of horses is world famous, so the bargaining is always fierce, but usually good-humoured. And often the bargains are sealed with a traditional slap of hands. A few years ago, people tried to stop the great Appleby Horse Fair, and the person who fought to save it and led a deputation in support of it was Sylvester Gordon Boswell, one of Britain's most famous gypsies. It's thanks to him that the fair was saved, and Gordon will be at Appleby at the end of this week when the 1970 fair takes place. But before Gordon goes off to Westmoreland, he's come along to the Blue Peter studio today with one of his caravans, and he's driving in now with John.
And a splendid caravan it is too. It's a round top van, you can see that by the sort of shape of it, and it's horse-drawn as are all traditional gypsy caravans. Can we go a fraction further down? There we are. Whoa! And as Val said, it's been driven into the studio by Gordon Boswell, who's one of Britain's leading gypsies. And Gordon, it's a beautifully decorated caravan, is this, isn't it? This sort of decoration around all the front of the caravan, it also goes down the side. This is a sort of family painting, isn't it? It goes down from generation.
It's a tradition of colours, lovely colours.
Lots of colours and lots of paint. Now, if we can step down here, we've got a gypsy fire. All right, Gordon?
Yep.
Oh, by gum. Can't have you tripping up there. You have me worried for a moment. We've got a gypsy fire laid out here. Now, there's a correct way of lighting or building one of these fires. A stick straight up like an Indian tent so you get draft up down the middle. Oh, hanging over it, there's a frying pan on a little iron stand. What do they call that stand, Gordon?
That's a kettle prop, we call that.
A kettle prop. And that would just stick in the earth?
That's right. It's used for several things with a gypsy. He always carries them, and it's used if you want to stake a horse along a roadside with a chain, you use that as a bar to stake it down, and they use it for practically anything.
Yeah, well, you're also quite a dab hand, actually, at whittling, aren't you?
Yes.
You've done this since you were a lad.
Ever since I was a boy,
There's
I played about.
Super pegs here
Yes.
that you make. Could you show us, in fact, how you go around making one of these clothes pegs?
Yes, I can do that. First of all, you get your bit of wood, your willer if possible.
Yeah.
And you cut it to the length you want, and you peel the bark off it like that.
Yes.
And clean it as well as you can.
Yeah.
And then this is the peg with the tin on it. You just put it in there and riddle it round, put one tack in it, and then you get your knife and you try to find the centre where the peth is. Whittle your knife down nice and gently, like that.
And turn the knife round.
Turn your knife over in the jaw. Take that out.
Take a bit out.
A bit out of his lip.
Yeah.
a bit more if you want it.
And you end up with a very good peg, in fact.
And you just round
off
the
top.
corners off, and
Yeah.
that's your peg. And when he's dried out, you'll find out he'll open his mouth like that.
Well, it isn't only clothes pegs like this that Gordon is very good at. Have a look at these vans over here. Gordon, could you tell us something about them? This one, for instance, is beautiful, isn't it? It's very much... Whoop, I dropped the steps. Very much like the one that we drove into the studio. In fact, it's the one behind, isn't it? Can you tell us something about this one?
Well, it's a bow-top wagon, and it was made for the north country of England in the first place because it was a hilly district. It's much lighter than other models.
Yeah.
And you could keep a lighter type of horse to keep up with the traffic and travel further in the least time.
And the one here? Well,
further back is one of the old original type of wagons that I remember my father having one made when I was quite a little boy.
The door's open. If I can just
70 years
the
ago.
door open. There we are.
And, of course, it's a very comfortable home, but a very heavy one. That model would be 50 hundredweights.
Yeah. Well, Gordon, those are gorgeous, and thanks very much for coming along to the studio and telling us something about gypsy life. Very interesting.
Really, it's fantastic. It certainly whetted my appetite, Gordon.
Good.
Thank you very much for coming along. And if it's whetted your appetite too, then you can find quite a lot about gypsies in this new book. It's called The Book of Boswell, Autobiography of a Gypsy. It's written by Gordon Boswell himself, published by Gollancz. It's quite expensive at 42 shillings, but I dare say you could borrow it from your local library. And towards the back of the book, Gordon tells how he got involved with scrap metal dealing, because when the motor car took over from the horses, all the gypsies who used to sell horses, they started buying and selling second-hand cars, and they became experts in scrap metal. Now, just before Christmas, I met a bunch of fellows who were in the scrap metal business too. The difference was that they took an ordinary car and turned it into scrap metal on purpose. They called themselves the Destruction Squad.
As I drove in, I could see the results of their stunts. Crashed cars were lying around everywhere. The team, and they call themselves Destruction Squad, practice on a disused airfield and are preparing for a tour in the spring. I was going to meet one of the top drivers, John Carter Brown. He told me he was going to show me some of his spectacular stunts and just how he does them. As I arrived, he came racing across the tarmac towards me. I was staggered to see his car leap over the top of 8 others before crashing, and I rushed over to see if he was okay.
Okay, pull me out.
Let me get out for a second. Fantastic.
John was in one piece, but the car was a complete wreck. The front end and the engine were smashed, and even the roof caved in.
I think the head took a bit of a bump, but the crash helmet's still there.
I see you've got another car lined up over here, John. What are you going to do with that?
Well, I'm going to drive it into the furniture van at 50 miles an hour.
Oh, Dad, you're joking. What happens?
Well, you just have to wait and see.
All right, well, I'll watch.
I couldn't begin to imagine what would happen, but John climbed confidently into his next vehicle, because the cars in the Destruction Squad only make one trip. All these cars come straight off the road and have no additional strengthening at all. The only thing added for the driver's protection is a very good safety harness. He was also wearing a crash helmet, visor and scarf to protect his head and face. But nevertheless, as he turned at the end of the field in preparation for the run-up, my heart was in my mouth. I gave the all clear, and he was off and driving towards the furniture van as fast as the car would go. Had someone inexperienced been driving, I would have been too terrified to even look. But John and his fellow drivers are professionals and know almost exactly what's going to happen. This way, the risks are reduced to a minimum. I couldn't believe my eyes. The car had completely broken up, and we all rushed over to help John out in case it burst into flames. This was the team's 57th stunt so far, and once again, as in all the others, the driver stepped out and took his bow.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic, John.
Thanks.
The roof came in.
Yeah.
See, the windscreen's still in one piece. I don't know why it ended up there. Really, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
No bones broken?
No, perfectly all right, you know.
That's what, the fault of the seatbelt?
Yeah, they're great. They're the only things that really hold you. The only thing that you can do when you're coming out that van is to hope that the safety belts are holding you securely. Now, look, Peter, I'll take you back right from start to finish and show you how it's done.
Okay, right.
This is what they call action replay on the sports programmes. It's the same stunt all over again, with John telling us exactly what happened.
I'm now coming out the field at 40 miles an hour, building up speed to hit the ramps at 50 miles an hour. And when you hit the ramp, there's a tremendous jolt backwards and then a surge forward. A tremendous feeling of free flight. I've already started to brace myself, knowing that I'm going to turn over. Your mind is just swirling round and round till you come down onto the concrete.
As I said, marvellous.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that wraps it up for the day, then?
Oh, no, come on. I think it's about time you tried it now.
I doubt very much whether let's have a van anyway.
Like the cars, the furniture van was straight off the road too. It was made of wood and aluminium, and no attempt had been made to weaken it.
Right then, John, what am I going to do?
Well, get in the car, come up here. I want you to hit the ramps about 45 miles an hour. You'll come straight up, straight in, and straight out the other side.
That's the
Perfectly all
theory.
right.
I'll come out the other side, huh?
You'll come out the other side.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it, but I'll take your word for it.
You'll be all right. So we're going to kick you out with some overalls,
Okay,
then?
yes, please.
As it was the first time I'd done anything like this, I was very nervous. But John had briefed me carefully, leaving nothing to chance. The main thing about stunts like this is to drive in fast, accelerating all the time. Or as John put it, just keep your foot down and you'll be all right.
Are you sure this is all right, are you, John?
Yes, everything's...
The safety belt was the thing that was literally going to save my life, so I wanted to make sure that it fitted.
Wow, these are tight.
If it goes on its side and there's a way out this way, don't take it. We had a bloke who'd done a roll and he crawled underneath the car.
And it fell over on it.
So don't panic for the quickest way out. Okay.
This is where I start from, right in the middle of a field. Then we go down to the end of the field, turn around.
I stopped the car at the end of the field to put my visor down over my eyes and tied the scarf around my mouth. I put the car into first gear and began the run-up. There was no turning back now.
The speed now increasing. 20 miles an hour on the speedo. That's probably wrong, but it is getting up. We're doing about 25 now. Probably 30. I'm going up into third gear now. Heading straight for the ramp. I'm lined up with the ramp, and here I go. Okay. The second before you hit the ramp, you want to go straight back. You don't want to do it. I thought I was going over the top of it.
I could hardly believe I was in one piece, but it had happened just the way John told me it would. But you wouldn't get me to do it again, not for all the tea in China.
Well, I've already seen you do it once, and I find it very difficult to look. It's awful.
Yeah, we've got an extraordinary letter here. It's from Margaret and Brenda Ear. It says, "Dear John, will you please tell us why you always have to do the dangerous and messy work? Is it that Peter is a coward? Well, I reckon after seeing the destruction squad with Peter at work, the answer's no."
Actually, I am. We'll be back on Thursday, and you can see what happened when Val, John and I went for a trip across the Channel in the most luxurious boat in the world.
And there'll be more hot air flying around in this studio than usual, because we'll be having a hot air balloon flying around.
So we'll see you again then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.